Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I see only there are 24 participants. Was it not conveyed? So did you all get the mail or any information or notification about the prepone of this session?
No, sir. There was no mail. It was just on the calendar.
Okay, but there is an update on calendar, right? So that is fine. Okay, and I guess I suppose I've given given the information in the last session, right, that it might get preponed to Friday. Okay, anyways, so some participants will join, and it is okay. So I guess this is so we have 25 participants now, and I guess this is the right time to start with the session, because I guess this will be a bit long session. I'm not sure if we are able to complete this. We'll see. Okay, so all right, so welcome everyone. Good afternoon to this session. This is a session that is supposed to be happening on Saturday, but it got postponed due to some reasons. Okay, and what we do in this session is we'll try to have a practical aspect of AppDev1, right? So we'll go ahead with uh, doing something more of coding based, right? So we'll come now that you have uh, now that you have opened or you have gone through the content that is related to HTML, CSS, and I guess some of you may have also started with your lab assignments. I guess this is the right time to just get this practical work done, so that if there are any some issues, some doubts, they also get cleared. Okay. Yeah, so in this session, what we will do is I'll give you a question statement. Okay, we'll wait for some time for you to start, and then I'll start on my the same thing, like on my system, and then let's see how do we get along with it, right? So it is not a graded session, right? So there won't be grading for this. It is the learning part of the course. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you are unable to start, or it doesn't matter if you get stuck somewhere. You can definitely at any point unmute yourself and reply. Okay, ask your queries. Okay, so I'll start with sharing my screen. Just give me a minute. Okay, so I hope you can see the Replit interface. Okay, so this says only SWI week 2, which means solve with instructor week 2. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll give you the markdown for this. That is the activity that we need to do. Okay, so I'll just go through this. I hope you all also can read. I'll just go through this, and what I'll do is I'll also share this file with you all, so that you can have it on your system and then refer to what is given here. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to create a static website. Okay, which this has to be a static website, right? Nothing is happening at the backend, no storage, nothing. Just it should show some information, and you should be able to go from one page to another. That's it. Okay, so we have to create a static website which gives the information on the 3 programming courses, and those can be any, right? So currently we are in AppDev 1, and in the next term, possibly if we clear this AppDev 1, we'll go with the AppDev 2, right? And then uh, you also have DBMS. Some of you may be covering DBMS in along with AppDev 1 in this term also, right? So I have 3 of these sessions in my mind right now. So what we need to do is we have to create a one course page. Okay, one page for the course, right? One course page. Okay, so what should be the part, or what can be the part of a page, right? So there has to be some headings. Okay, then the information on that course or particular thing, whatever we are writing, the subject programming course, in 1 or 2 paragraphs, it should have a relevant image. Okay, it should have an image which gives you some it does not have to give any it does not have to reflect anything. It should be just a related image, right? So since for example, if I'm creating a course page for AppDev 1, I should have a image that relates for something that is related to web development, right? Then we have some of the HTML elements like external links, list, right? And in the external links, you can see that these links should guide us to other pages, right? So as I said, we have to create 3 pages. We should be able to go from one page to the other with the help of this page rather than using this the back and forward button that we have, right? So this is about the content. Now we need to style the page. So what we need to take care of about is the page layout, the kind of fonts that we want to use. Okay, background colors here and there, depends on you, depends on your creativity, how much you want to do. Okay, and then what is the takeaway from this? So we will definitely learn to create a HTML document. Okay, then we'll talk about some tags, how tags are nested. Okay, we will add some links because it is required. We'll learn how to embed an image, how to add style to a web page. Okay, just give me a minute. I hope I'm able to share my screen. Okay, just give me a minute.
Your screen is not visible now. Hello, others are there?
Hello, yes.
The screen is not visible, no?
No, actually nothing is visible. They haven't shared it.
I think sir has stopped sharing.
Okay. Guys, are you there?
Yes. Sir is
Okay.
sir will come. He said that
I think net connection.
he asked us to wait. Yeah.
Can somebody explain the shorthand property of this CSS? Anybody? Till the sir sharing the screen, we can use the time.
Um, you are asking shorthand properties.
Yeah, I am asking shorthand property of CSS. What is exactly
Shorthand
this?
properties, nothing like it's like when we regularly mention the properties, we need to use 3-4 text, right? But if we want to mention them all, like for border, we want to mention all the properties like width, height, and all, then we can mention them in a single line. That is shorthand property.
Okay, means what we frequently use that can be sorted. Okay.
Yeah, right. Like you want to for a border property, you want to mention
Okay. 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 Border
width,
color.
height, bottom, yeah, color, everything you can mention in a single line using a single tag. You can say.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Now screen is visible. What happened exactly? Something?
Yeah, sir has given us a question to work on. You can see the link in the chat box.
Okay, chat box. Okay.
Is anyone else stuck?
Yeah.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. Really sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, there has been a problem which due to which I could not unmute my mic. But I guess I have the task that I've given. Have you all forked it? Were you following the chat?
Yes, so
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine. Okay, just let me share my screen back. I guess there so there won't be any disturbances now. Okay, so is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I hope I was able to before we stopped, I was able to explain what we had to do, right? And did everybody follow the steps that I gave on the chat? So what we need to do was you have to so I wanted this info.md, right? So this file, this should come to your system. For that, what you needed to do was I had given you the link, right, for this entire REPL. You can open the same link in the REPL and fork it. So you'll have the entire project and the file structure, whatever is there with you, so that you can just render this, open this file and it will be rendered like this. Okay, in the Markdown tab. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll just reshare the link.
We have to open this info.md file, sir.
Yes. So what is there? The whatever thing that I have been showing on the screen, right? So that will be there. This is the link, right? This is the link for the REPL. You can open this REPL and the entire structure will be there. You'll have the info.md there. Okay. Okay, but anyway, so this is for your own. Now I guess we have put enough time in that, enough time got wasted. So now what I'll do is I'll directly start with working on it, right? Yeah, so before I start, I'll give you a demo, a small demo of a similar website, similar thing that I've already prepared, right? So I'll just share my screen, just give me a minute. Okay, so are you able to see this?
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is the website kind of thing, right? It is a static website. What it does is it gives you, it is called as data science wiki, right? So what it does is it gives the information on the data science, right? So we have written some stuff, 1 or 2 paragraphs related to the data science in the form of paragraphs. We have added an image, and then we have other things in the form of list and all, right? So as I mentioned in the problem statement, we have to, give a proper heading, add some content, then you have to embed an image, then other links, right? So you also see the other links. Okay, so what it does, it also gives 2 additional pages along with this. So if you click on the link, you will get the information on relation to statistics. Okay, so this website is giving you static information on the topic data science and its relation to in its relation to statistics. And then you also see that there is another page called as modern usage, right? So this also gives some information on the modern usage. All the 3 pages follow same pattern, right? Heading, brief info, and then there is some detailed information in the form of paragraph, image, and then list of items that are there. Okay, you can see that you can hover from any page to any page. For example, if I again from this page, if I want to go to home page, I can directly go to that page. And again, this page will have both the relation to statistics and modern usage. Right. So this is something similar to probably very similar, only the content would change. But that is what we need to do. What should happen here? It should have first page, right? And it will have, let's say, modern application development 1. Then you give some information on it. You add an image on it. Okay, add some technologies, not necessarily you can add any heading and then give any list. Okay, and then there has to be references which will lead you to the other courses, right? So there we are going with the 3 courses, just as this website has 3 pages, right? So this is very similar problem statement to the one which this website caters to, right? So I hope now you got the demo also. So yeah, so I won't wait for you to do it now. I'll start and then you can follow parallel. Okay, and yeah, so I'll be using Replit for this particular task because uh, I guess does not then bring the hurdle of having different IDs and all, right? Whatever is done here is bare minimum requirement. Okay, your IDs like VS Code and Sublime Text might also provide you some additional shortcuts. Okay, but that won't work in Replit. So I'll simply be writing all these things and then it becomes easy. Okay, so I'll start off with the same file that I had created before where you had the information. Just let me open that file. Or what I'll do is I'll simply create a new REPL. Okay. Yeah. So see, you can either create a Python REPL or this HTML, CSS, JavaScript REPL. Okay. Python REPL will have some additional functionalities to be taken care of because we are serving an HTML page at the end of the day and we are using Python REPL, right? So we need a server to run that HTML file. In creating this HTML, CSS, JS REPL, you won't need to do all those things, right? So I'll just simply rename it for the sake of understanding. So it is, let's say, week 2, solve with instructor. So we have created this REPL. Now you can see that there are 3 files. Since it is HTML, JavaScript, and CSS REPL, the 3 template files are already there. Okay, the script.js and style.css. We won't be using script.js because we want to create a static page. So I'll delete this file. Okay, and then there is HTML file. So if you see here, it also gives you this is called as boiler plate, okay, or boiler code. Okay, this what does it have? It simply has the doc type declaration that it is an HTML5 compliant file. Okay, it starts with an HTML tag. and then it has a head and body tag, and then inside it has some meta tags and all, and the title. Okay, and then since it is the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript REPL, it also creates a style sheet linking to it. Okay, so we have the style.css already linked. We don't need this, right? So I'm trying to remove the jargons and whatever is not required at this stage, so that there is no unnecessary confusion. Okay, so I removed that. I don't need this. Even we do not need this meta character set UTF-8 because it is by default UTF-8. Okay, so I'll also remove this. You can keep if you want. Okay, we'll go with the bare minimum requirement that is there to just run our website. Okay, so then in the head we'll put only this title and link this style sheet. Okay, and since I'm creating this page for giving the information on programming courses, we'll write. I'll simply give the title information on programming courses. Okay, so I hope this is clear till here, right? Now we have this body, and you see this, right? Script.js. So it was linking to the script.js file which we deleted some minutes before, right? So we don't need this file also. So we'll remove this. Okay. So now we have the HTML tag segregating all the entire HTML file, and then this file is again divided into head and body. Right. So this is the conventional way of creating an HTML file. This is the minimum thing that we require. Okay. All right. And then there is hello world. So currently, if I try to run this file, it will print hello world. Okay. No designing, nothing, simple text. Okay. So we don't want this. What we want is to create a website that will have heading, content, and then the footer part which will have the links. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll simply create 3 different div tags. Div tags are simple containers which separate out, or separate out the content specific to that particular part. For example, I want heading and the information on heading on one place, right? To be all that part in one place. So I will put it in one div. Okay, and I'll name it as header. Okay, this is simply the content of div. Okay, I've just written created a div and written the content of that div, that is header. Okay, what I'll do is I'll also create 2 more divs. Okay, so this 2 more divs will, one of that will represent the body, and the third part would be the, let's say we generally call it footer. Okay, there is header, body, and footer. So each page can be divided into 3 parts, right? So if I simply run this now, I see that there are 3 things: header, body, and footer. So currently it doesn't make any difference, right? You don't see anything very special happening here, but there is what we can see is there are 3 div tags, and each div tag has this content. So now just this is for your information, just to say that this is header. But how does the HTML know that this is header? Okay, and how will I address this div as the header div? So what I'll do is I'll give it an ID. Why an ID? Because I want this header to be used only for this particular div. I don't want this name header to be used anywhere else. So I'll give this a div. Give ID. Okay. Then this is body, right? But the problem with body is we also have a tag called as body. Okay, so we'll not create that confusion. We will create. We will simply write web body, some other name other than body. Simple. Okay, so this is web body. Third is footer. So footer can be footer. Okay, so with that in place, we can remove the content here. We don't need anything special to say that, okay, this is body and this is head. Okay, any issues here till this point? I'm audible, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so since you have already, some of you may have already done the lab assignment, this thing would have you would have found this thing very simple, right? So okay, now we have 3 containers. What we need to do is, okay, is there a message? Okay, I'll come to that, Ajit. Okay, we'll come to this rel style sheet. Doesn't make any difference. Remove that. Okay, it just says the link that whatever thing that you are linking is a style sheet. That's it. Okay, so you don't need to even put that. Okay, we are following some of, for example, when I created this file, there were some meta tags, right? Meta char set UTF-8. It was general information which comes with an HTML file, but that is by default. So we don't need to, we don't really care if it is there or not there, because by default HTML5 will use UTF-8. Similarly, this gives this is like a conventional way of writing. You give href, you give rel. Okay, otherwise nothing changes. Okay, so since it is there, I'll just have it. Okay, so that is the only, see, even if you remove this type text and css, doesn't make any difference. This is for your understanding. Okay, because we link scripts also, we link other links which are coming from maybe from
So what is
bootstrap.
the meaning exactly, sir? This is style sheet and text CSS.
So this is, yeah, so this gives you an information what
Is
you
it
are exactly
unnecessary?
linking.
Is it unnecessary information
We
displaying?
cannot see if it is there, we cannot call it unnecessary, but this is something that you would not, its presence will not affect your work, right? Your
Okay.
HTML file will not be affected by its presence or absence. Okay, see, the
Yeah.
thing is, here I've linked style.css. Okay, I've linked a style sheet. I can also link a JavaScript script. Okay, I can link external bootstrap. Okay, I can link any other styling, uh, uh, third party styling application that is giving me styles, right? Just like bootstrap and tailwind. So all
Then
these
what?
things are
Then what?
linked.
Then what would be the syntax of linking this?
Yeah, so it will
Yeah.
come, right? It will come, it will come.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so whenever we link this is the one that the computer understands. Okay, you are referring to a style.css file. This is something that we, for our information, what you have actually linked. Okay, so these attributes don't really play a very vital role in what you need to exactly convey on the web page. That is for development, for the coder. Okay, what matters is this: if you remove this, the styles that are given in this file will not be incorporated. Okay, yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, so so what we can do is, we can simply, for example, if we are really confused with something, what does difference that is making, we can simply remove and see, and put it and see what difference. If there is no difference, that is something which is for the user's information, doesn't really matter. Okay, all right, so now that I'll move ahead with this, right? So now that I have 3 divs, 3 containers basically, which will have different set of information, I will just put it like this. Now, what I want is the header div should have information saying that this is the particular page, and then particular subject. Okay, for example, I'll just show it here. Okay, so here, if I want to put something in good big heading so that it is understandable, I'll put it in H1, right? So in H1, I'll say programming courses or information on programming courses. Information on programming courses. Okay, this is the major heading that I want to put. Okay, this should be followed by a smaller heading, but comparatively larger, would be the name of the course that we are talking about in particular. So let's say it's given by H2, right? So I'll write modern application development. Okay, this being the first part, right? So modern application development 1. Okay, so this particular div takes care of the heading part of the web page. Okay, next, in this div which says web body, I'll put the things that will constitute the body of the application. What was that particularly that we saw in the reference was a paragraph, let's say 1 or 2 paragraphs based on the course that we are adding, proper image, okay, and then some list, some contents of list. So that is something that we'll try to do here. Okay, so I'll add a paragraph tag here. Okay, so this is the paragraph tag. This paragraph tag will have the information that I'll be putting for this particular course. Now, the best place to get the information from is simply search the web, right? So you'll write web application development, and okay, so I had this written, but okay, we'll find it some theoretical part from the Wikipedia. Okay, so this gives an idea of what web application is and all, right? So I'll take this text. Okay, see, I'm directly copying, okay, from the Wikipedia, but this does not mean that we have to copy. I will also give the reference, right? I'll also give the correct reference so that, just give me a minute. Yeah, I'll also give the proper reference to the Wikipedia page, right? So I'll add this in the paragraph tag. So this gives some basic information about what web application development is. Okay, and these can be divided into multiple paragraphs, right? This entire information can be divided into multiple paragraphs. So what we can do is, let's say I want to, for example, I'll put this part from the examples, right, that I've just separated out. I'll put it in the new paragraph. So I'll simply put it in new paragraph. Okay. So, okay, so this is very wrong nesting, right? So we'll just remove this, put it in this part. And this has to be ended, right? So paragraph is not a self-closing tag. So we need to end it. Okay, so this paragraph starts and ends here. This starts and ends here. Okay, so we have created the information in the form of 2 paragraphs. Next that I want to add here is the image, right? So I'll simply use image tag. Okay, image. So image is a self-closing tag. So we don't need something like this. Okay, we don't need something like this. So we'll simply put image, and with the image, I will add the link to that image. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so this image will have 2 attributes. Where am I writing? Okay, the source from where the image is taken. Okay, and then something called as ALT. Okay, we'll come to that in a minute. Okay, so for the source, we will take some image from the Google again, right? So we'll go to the web, and we'll try to find an image from web. Okay, so many images. Let's take one that gives an idea of what web development is. Okay, should we take this? This looks fine. Okay, no, this is it GIF? Wait, it will not take GIF. Okay, we'll take this. Okay, this is PNG. So let's say this is image 1, and I want to save it in the desktop. Okay, so we have this image saved in the desktop, but since I'm working on Replit, I'll have to bring this image here, okay, in my files. So I'll just upload this file. Okay, this is image1.png. So src, I can simply write image1.png. Okay, image1.png. And here, let's say I'll write image for application development. Okay, let's try and see if this is working. Okay, so we got a big heading, that is informational programming courses here in H1. We have H2, which is slightly smaller, but okay, again differentiable. And then we have two different paragraphs, right? So this space that you see here, okay, let me open this on the bigger page. That will not, okay, so it will expand the entire content. Let's see. All right. So the space that you see here and here, right, after this point and this point is because of the change of paragraph tag. Okay, and this is the image. Okay, now we one thing that we added was this, right? ALT. What does this mean? This is the alternative. What does alternative say? If, for example, I don't have that image, or the web is unable to load that image for some reason, it will show the alternative text. Okay, so it says like this, right? Image for application development. What should be shown as an alternative text is what we write here. Okay, we do not have image2.png, right? So we had image1. So this, if the browser is unable to find this image to render, it will show the alternative text. But we have this image1, so we'll put it that way and try to reload. Okay, right. So we have the H1, we have the smaller heading content, and we have the image. Now there is one thing that is remaining, is the list of content. Let's not the content, the list of some related articles or things that are there, some specific point in web. Okay, let's try to search that. Okay, yeah, so see, we have this part, right? There are, I'm not sure if you're able to see this, I'll just read this aloud. There are several ways of targeting mobile devices when making web applications. Okay, so they are particularly talking about mobile web application. What we'll do is we'll use these three things here, that is responsive web design, progressive web design, and hybrid apps. Okay, so we'll write that as a pointers to this page. Okay, we'll put them in the form of list. Now lists are there in two forms. One is when you want to serialize the list, that is, let's say, give the serial numbers, that is 1 2 3, right? That is coming in the order, so that's why you call them as ordered list. Okay, in other case, when you simply have to point out some things, give some features, give some characteristics of a thing, there you don't need to have serialization, right? So there you simply use bullets and all. In that case, it is unordered list. Okay, so first we'll talk about ordered list. Okay, the ordered list, now I have specified that what kind of list I want. Okay, now I will specify the items of that list. So to do that, what we'll do is we'll write li, which says list item. Okay, and this, within this list item, I'll have to write what I wanted to. Right. Okay, so it was what was the thing again? Responsive web design, progressive, and hybrid. Responsive web design, simply copy this. There is something called as progressive. Okay. Third one was hybrid. Okay. Now we have this as in the form of list. Let's see if it has come. Yeah, so if you see here, you see that it is coming in 1, 2, 3, even if we have not given the number, right? We have specified that it has to be an ordered list. But okay, so here if I see these pointers, responsive web design and all, I don't see what they correspond to, right? So let's add some heading to that, what they mean. Okay, so we read that it was parts of or mobile web application, right? Several ways of targeting mobile devices. So we'll write that as a heading. Okay, let's use H3. Completely depends on you what you want to use. It's like the hierarchy, right? The main heading comes as H1. The heading that is not very important, lesser important heading comes as H2, and then follows the hierarchy, right? So I'll just write the types of mobile app development techniques, right? The mobile app development techniques. See the spellings and see. Let's reload this. Yeah. So now it is coming like proper heading, which which specifies that what these three things mean, what we are actually referring to, right? So if I see in the content here, reload this. Yeah, so this is the main content of my web page. Now the web page has the heading, the subheading, the content which I wanted to put. Now the only thing this web page remains lacks is the links to go to other pages, right? So that will add in the part of footer. Okay, so the third div will add in the part of as a part of footer. So let's say and to add a link within the HTML page, we'll use anchor, right? So there is two things, right? One is link and the other thing is anchor. Okay, with link also we are adding some we are referring to some web page that we want to use. With anchor also we want to put some web page that we want to see or use. Okay, what is the difference? The difference is href is used for linking additional pages to my HTML file. Okay, additional pages to my HTML file. But this is happening to the HTML. Okay, in the front end, what browser renders, if I want to add some links, some clickable links, that is done with the help of anchors. Okay, so that is the difference. If I want to add something to my HTML code, I'll do that with the help of link. If I want the some HTML code, some HTML text to appear as a link or connection to other files on the front end, I'll use anchor. Okay, because we are anchoring some pages within the page. Okay, so this is the difference. So if I use anchor, anchor has two attributes. One attribute, that is href. Okay, what are we referring to? Okay, href. So the other page that we are referring to would be the other course, right? So let's say I'll use DBMS. Okay, so DBMS is the other course, let's say. And the other, apart from this, there is one more course that you want to take. Let's take MAT2, right? The sequel of this. Right, modern Asian development 2. So spell checks, and now these are the two links that we are. These are the two pages that we want to go, right? One mistake I did here. What I did, I've added what I want to be shown on the screen in the form of href, right? Let's see what I've done. Okay, so I don't see links, right? Yeah, so I don't see any links. Why? Because I've given what to visit when you click on the link, but I have not given the actual link. Okay, where will you click? Okay, so that I have interchanged with these terms, right? So I need to write DBMS here, right, as a part of as the content of that tag. Okay, and then this modern application development again as the content of that tag. Okay, even if, so currently, for example, before we use, I'll just put hash. Okay, so that it does not go anywhere else. Okay, so now if I reload this, I see two different things, right? DBMS and modern application development too. So one thing to note here, whatever you write in the href is the actual link where you want your page to go to. And this is the dummy text which you want to appear on the web page, right? That has to come as the part of content of that tag. And the actual link should come as the part of href. Okay, now what are we referring to here? It will be referring to the other HTML page, right? So what we'll do is we'll create another HTML pages. Okay, let's add one more HTML page. Add file. Okay, so it should be, let's say, index2.html. Okay, this is index2.html, and then since we are creating three, I'll just create in index3.html also. So index2 dot, wait, didn't get saved, just so we have three pages now, index2.html, index3.html. Simply let me write index3. Okay, let me open this and write index2. Okay, so these are the raw content of those HTML file. What I need to do now, I just need to put those names in the href. Index2.html. .html, right? So let's go to the main page and try to see. Right. So now this DBMS should lead me to index2, right? And this modern application development 2 should lead me to index3, right? So this is what we do with the help of anchor tag. Okay. Now, so the content of one page is completely done. We have the header, the heading, subheading, content, and the links. Okay, one thing is remaining. Let us also put let us cite web Wikipedia, right? So we'll write the content. Right, so the content source is Wikipedia. Right, so we also have referred to the sources that we have used. Okay, so this is the web page for a modern application development of 1. Similarly, we can create 2 other pages. So what I can do is quickly copy and paste the content, because I want to keep the structure same, right? Only the minor contents within will change. Okay, so we have one HTML file here. We'll save it here. Also index3 will save it here. Now we'll change the content wherever it was required, right? So I guess most of the things will change. So let's see. All right, so in the information, okay, this remains same because all the 3 pages are giving information on programming courses. Index2 was DBMS, right? So let's write in the complete part. Database management systems. Okay, and there is no 1 and 2 here. Let's put it as it is, database management systems. We'll go back to, okay, we'll take the shelter of Wikipedia once again and search for DBMS instead of web application. Okay, so we got something, so many things related to DBMS, but we only got the first paragraph. Okay, so in computing a database, right? So we'll go till fault tolerance. Okay, let's go back to our REPL and change this part with the new part. Okay, here also we can change the paragraph. So let's from here. So now that we have the structure ready, it is easy to just copy and paste the content. We need to change the images also. So we'll go back to the, okay, so okay, fine. So let me open one more page for images. EBMS images. Yeah, lot many. This is good. This is image 2. Save it. And so other one was MAT2, right? Modern Application Development 2. So there is nothing called MAT2 in the web. We generally won't found. What we will find is, let's say, front-end development. As I mentioned before, that MAT2 will be mostly dealing with the front end, right? So here we will search for front-end development. The front end, the front end. All right. So the front-end development. Yeah. So we'll use this. This is the JPG. Let's say this image 3. And are we saving it on desktop? Yes. Okay, so we got all the 3 images. Let's go back to our this page index to what else do we need? Okay. Yeah, so this image 2 has to be changed. Sorry, image 1 has to be changed with image 2, and we also need images here, right? So we'll load them. Let me load them. Upload file. Desktop. Okay, this is desktop. So yeah, change to an image 3. Okay, so I have given space here, right? So I need to make that thing sure that I give space. Otherwise, it will show me the not the space underscore. Otherwise, it will give me the alternative, right? So this is image for DBMS. Okay. All right. Now we'll talk about some list things, right? So we'll go back to this part and take the list part from here. All right. So we'll take functions of DBMS, right? Functions of DBMS, and we'll put these 3 or 4 there. So go back to here and write functions of DBMS. Okay. One I remember was data definition. Okay. Other one, update retrieval. Update retrieval. Update and retrieval. Okay, I'll write both in one. Update and retrieval, and the other one was probably administration. Right, administration. Okay, so we have administration here. One change that I would want to do here, we'll take the other type of list. So initially we took the ordered list. Now we'll take ordered list, but I don't want this to be 1, 2, 3. I want it to be, let's say, ABC, right? So I'll just write type and put as A, not the small, capital 1, small. Okay, so it is still an ordered list, but now instead of 1, 2, 3, we should have A, B, and C. Right. Now, since I'm already, now we'll go to the next part, that is the links. Now, since I'm already on the DBMS page, I do not want to link myself to that same page, right? So I will go to index.html, which is the main page, right? Sorry, the appdev1 page, and I'll write here mad1. Sorry. Okay, so I've written complete, right? So I'll take this only. This to be mad1, and the other page remains same, right? The mad2, because from DBMS also you should be able to go to mad2. Okay, and again the source is Wikipedia, so we'll keep that thing same. What did we change? We changed this content, we changed the name, we changed the type of list, and it's not appearing here. We also put the source Wikipedia. Let's reload this. Okay, so now we have DBMS and modern application development 2. Clicking on DBMS should lead me to other page. Okay, and then there is application development 2, and then there is application development 1. So this part should again lead me back to this page. Okay, so I'm not using any back button yet, but I'm using the links that is there already. Okay, same thing we'll do for the third part, that is modern application development 2. So things to be changed, nothing, only just second heading. Okay, so it's modern application development 2. Spell checks. Yeah, we need to change this content, right? But we already have the image, so we'll put the image, and this image is for add 2. Okay, next we'll change this and this. Okay, so we'll go back to the content. So we'll go to Wikipedia once again. Okay, this time we'll not search for application development, we'll search for front-end development once again. Front-end application development or front-end. Okay, fine. Should be fine. Okay, wait. I have Wikipedia. Yeah, so it says only this is the content. Okay, fine. We'll go to other content. HTML, CSS. I don't want to put the details of HTML and CSS on this page. Okay, just give me one. Okay, fine. Just give me. We'll use the framework, right? We'll type the framework that we'll be using. So we're using Vue.js, right, on the front end. That is modern application development 2, and we'll be using Vue.js. So let us find something about that. Yeah, so we got the information, right? With the continuous rise of this and all, we'll use this. We just want the content. Back to okay, so we don't need this. We don't need this also. We don't need to necessarily keep 2 paragraphs, right? So I have very small content here, so I'll just keep the only 1 paragraph. Okay, so we have this Vue.js part. The image has already been changed. And the third thing is now let's have unordered list in this case. Okay, so we have 2 different types. We had 2 ordered lists. Now let us put unordered list. UL, right? So O changes with or O, U replaces the O, and then there is no meaning of type because it is unordered. Okay, what can we have? Yeah, so here I can write technologies of front end. Okay, so it is hypertext markup language, that is HTML. Then we have CSS. So I won't write cascading style sheets now. I'll write only CSS. And we'll write JavaScript. Okay. This is the thing. Now we want to change this. So now that we are in app dev 2, we do not want it on, right? This on. So we'll change it to 2, and then I'll change this part to TVMS. Okay, now let's see. Right. So we have this page, and then if we go to modern application development 2, okay, we're not able to go by. Let me see. Okay. Did I change it in index? Oh my God, I changed everything in index 2. Okay, fine. So we what we'll do is we'll simply rename it. Don't have to worry about too much. So we'll rename it with uh, index 2 will keep for modern application development 2, and 3 currently is for application development 1. That is the reason we are not having it, right? So 3 I'll change for dbms. So I hope you got the confusion. I changed the dbms file once again. Okay, so that was a blunder. Okay, fine. So in index 3, let me just check index 2 once again so that I'm sure there. Yeah, so index 2 got changed with application development 2, and the index, this remains same for application development 1. So this index 3 will change to that. So index 3, it is for dbms now, so we do not need dbms. Okay, this will become index, and this should become index 2. Okay, index 3, and then this front-end development techniques. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. So this we want to be dbms. Applications of dbms. Okay. Data definition. Data retrieval, because I don't remember what it was before. Retrieval administration. This is I remember. Okay. So index 2 is adaptive 2, index is adaptive 1. In dbms, we don't need dbms. So right, modern application development 1. Okay, this part is fine now. Yes, image for dbms was image 2. So there is a confusion, right? So many confusions, no issues. So we are writing for index 3, but we are putting image 2 because I remember that image 2 is for dbms. Okay, now we simply need to add some content. So we'll take that content. Okay, so I guess this should work now. So we are on dbms page, right? We are on dbms page. From there, we can go to either mat1 or mat2. So let's see if I go to mat1, shows me mat1. and again I'll go to DBMS page and image for mat2. So it is not loading mat2 image. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So some change problem with the links. Okay. So we will go back and check index. Index should have image 1. And yeah, so index 2 was, yeah, so we'll have to change this. 3. Okay, so 1 is fine now. You go to 2. So index 2 is now app dev 2. So we have the content for that. This is fine. Now just let us check the links. So DBMS becomes index 3, right? Index 3 is DBMS. So this is fine. It should go to MAD1 and MAD2. So now this is fine. Let us check the image. So in DBMS, it is image 2. And for AppDev1, it is AppDev2, it is image 3. So let's see. Okay, there is no image for MAD2 still. Let me check why. Okay, so this is, should be the image that should come for MAD2. What is MAD2 index? Okay, it is JPG. Fine. Yeah, that is good observation. I didn't see that. Yeah, so what we are doing, we are putting PNG as extension, right? So it is JPG. Okay, fine. So along the images along with the extensions is really important. So I guess we are ready with our application, but this is only raw HTML. I just want to know if there is any doubt, if I was really fast on this. So this is what we have created. Sorry, this is what we have created. Okay, so then this should be reloaded. Okay, so these are the this is the first page. Then we go to DBMS and modern application. I just want to put a separator here so that it is clearly understandable. So I will simply put this, not this. Okay, it hasn't come. Just give me a minute. Okay, no doubts. Where is the other one coming? It's not coming, right? Okay, anyways, we'll leave it as it.
Put a separator inside the angle.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm trying to avoid that. I'll show you why.
Sir, actually, you are doing an index 2 text editing and you are opening the
Okay,
page.
fine. Okay. Okay, fine. Let me go to this page and so we should make this change on index. Okay. See. Yeah, so it's working fine, but I've given it on the wrong place. Something happened. Okay, I think this will work. Yeah, so now it is not clear easily, but that is okay, fine. All right, so yeah, any issues still here? Okay, so I know that I have not asked any doubt in between, but I thought, okay, let's finish this and then we can take up doubts, right? Anything that I missed as it? I said that I'll take later and did not take anything.
Suppose we want to draw a line somewhere,
Yeah.
a vertical line or a horizontal line.
you want to draw a line. Okay, so see that comes under styling, but I guess we can have one of these. So let's say if I want to draw a line between this, so I think there is a
So can we use HR horizontal tool?
HR tag is used for
HR will okay, I'll just show you. HR, what will HR do?
Yeah, these are the tags, the HR, HL, OL, LI.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, these tags, where did you find these tags? Suppose something comes in our mind, we want to put that, but we don't have the tags. We don't remember the tags. Then how
Yeah.
to get it?
Yeah, correct. See, so so whatever I've given here, okay, and whatever is given in the form of HTML or the the lab assignment that we want is something that we want you to know, okay, because that is the very basic part, right? If I want to give some lists and all, that is very basic. Although there are various methods of doing this later on when we will not later on in some time when we use css we even don't need to think about it that much. Okay, when we use bootstrap does that for us, so we don't have to worry about that much, but this is something that we need to remember. Okay,
Yeah, how to
just give me a
remember?
minute.
Some list should be there.
Something happened. Okay, fine. Yeah. So no, see, there are a handful of things that you need to remember, right? So even if I say, even if I said, let's say on this, so if I go to, let's say DBMS page, and okay, so here it did not come. Okay, wait. Yeah. So here I've given unordered list, right? And this is coming in bullets. So it is pretty much. So this is something that we can remember, right? Some things that we want to come as a part of text, which is very basic in the HTML, those things we can keep in mind. I'm not saying that you need to know now what is basic and what is not. See, for example, any website that you want to create will have several levels of heading. Okay, what levels of heading do we generally use? H1, H2, H3. Okay, so headings is done. Okay, if I want to put some content in a some larger content,
How many headings? H1, H2, H3, H4, or more than that also?
I guess it goes till H6.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So it goes
This is the
till
question. Up to which level we can use? Because we don't know that.
even I didn't know that I had to use 3 only. I use H1, H2,
Okay.
and H3.
Yeah, this is the problem, sir. How to know? Because lab assignment is given. We are searching how to do that, and we are getting that tag just to.
Yeah, so see in the lab assignment, I guess for each page we have given the frequency of tags. Now see, the frequency of tags is given not because we want you to limit you to use only that HTML or only that is the correct way of creating the file. Okay, that is not the case. The thing is we have to follow a singular method to evaluate, and for that the scripts that run that evaluate your assignments have to be designed in a way, right? So for the uniformity, so we have, let's say we have so many people giving in the assignments, right? Everyone with their different level of their intellectual can add anything, right? So it becomes very it becomes very problematic to judge. See, I can see a lab assignment, if there was no rules, somebody could have come up and simply created a dynamic site, right? And somebody would have come up and simply used the HTML, the basic HTML that we have had. Okay, was it fair to give more marks to the one who used dynamic site? No, right? Why? Because that person, whoever created a simple HTML, a static HTML page, was working on the information that we gave, right? Anything dynamic that is coming from outside. The one who maybe had a lot of experience on that has created that. So we don't want that that kind of variations in the submission. Okay, so that is the reason we gave, okay, this is the tag you need to use, this is the level of assignment that we are expecting. Okay, so that everyone comes under same scale. right? So that is the major reason we are restricting you to use those many tags. But you can don't take that okay, for creating this page this should be the frequency of tags I need to use. That is not the case. See, I have created 3 divs, right? Nobody was stopping me to create only one div and go ahead. It would have looked the same, no issues. Okay, so it depends on you how you want to create, what do you want to separate, what part. For example, I could have put text in one div, images in other div, and the links in other sorry, the list in other div. Wouldn't have been wrong. That is also correct. So it depends on the developer what it wants to use. Okay, so you do not get distracted from the the strictness of a problem statement in lab assignment. Okay, now I talk about general tags that we should know. Okay, the tags, all the tags used here are something that we suggest you or we recommend you to know. Okay, because apart from this you need not go anywhere to create any different type of HTML file. This will have, even if you want to create a very heavy site, okay, having so many dynamic tags and all, you will not need any tags apart from this. Now there is only one thing that we did not put here is the table tag, okay, to create the tables and all. That is it. So in all of this and table, that is something that will be required. And apart from that, I don't think I'm not saying there are no other tags apart from this, but requirement, basic knowledge of HTML. See, we although we recommend you to go through the internet and search for everything. For example, you're doing a small piece of code. Find it on the internet, get the idea and put it, but that does not mean you should not have a even the scratch of it. You should not know even, okay, what is the tag, what is p tag, I don't know. That should not be the level of understanding, right? Some basic things are to be kept in mind. I'm not saying you have to memorize, okay, this is the p tag, this is ending tag, sorry, this is the tag which needs ending, this is the tag which does not need ending. That is not something we are expecting. If you want to create a website, you have to start with something, right? So that something is what is given here. Okay, so there is no particular limit. Yeah, so see, somebody said that, for example, where am I? In the first place, yeah. So somebody said that, okay, to keep the horizontal line you use HR tag. I would say, okay, this horizontal line is adding some styling to my page, right? So I will not use this HR for styling. I have the entire technology created for me, that is CSS. Why would I use again HTML to style my page? So there was no issue if you had not known this HR tag. Okay.
But in the question examination and assignment, some questions are there which has not been mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So
So we are
again,
confusing with that.
yeah, that is okay, but I'm sure they're part of activity and practice questions. So they won't come as a graded question, right? So I'm sure they are part of activity and practice. Just to go to the content, find the resources on the web and come up with the answer. If you remember, you remember. If you don't, it is okay.
Okay.
Okay, because now when you start practicing, I'm sure by end of week 3 and week 4 assignments and week 5 assignments, when we move in, as I said, app dev 1 backend, right? So when we will move on to the backend, we will not be even bothered with what tag to use in HTML. Okay, because we will be hardly using very targeted HTML, hardly using so many tags in the HTML. Mostly will be done in the back. Don't have to worry about it. Okay, but thus some basic things are required to be known. We are not asking you to remember each and every attribute. That is not required. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Fine.
Sir, one more question for the lab assignment. It is given that the frequency of the div tag should be 3. It means, sir, we should not go beyond 3, or we should not go below.
You have to use exactly 3, not below, not above. Yeah, that is the thing. If a specific number is given, you have to stick with that number. Okay, that is not a minimum or maximum criteria. That is the exact number of types you have to use. Okay.
Then I have one doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So what is the use of writing ID inside the div tag that we have?
Yeah, I'll come to that. So see, I'll come to that. So this was about the HTML, right? I'm just not sure. One thing I wanted to give that's not coming is this. Just give me 1 minute. Let me go to the code. Okay. Okay, yeah. So this was the issue, right? So I deleted that and I did not put it back. See, I put type A. You don't have to remember what is this type and what is this attribute A. You don't have to remember. I'm just giving for the information. Later, when you refer to this video again, you'll know, okay, something can be done with this. Okay, what can be done? Let me show you. What is this page? Index 3 means DBMS, right? Let's go to DBMS. Yeah, so you see this. Okay, let me show in the larger space. Yeah, so you see this, the list items are coming in the form of alphabets. They're still ordered, but now they are not in form of 1, 2, 3. They're A, B, C. How have I come up with that? I've just put, you use what I've said, you use ordered list with the type A. Okay, that is what I've done. Then there is again something called as start equals to 3. Okay, let's try and see this. See what is happening? C, D, E. So I said start 3 means it will start from the third letter of that list. Okay, am I saying you have to remember this? No. Okay, it is just something that I have used before and I know. Okay, there may be other attributes which I don't know, and some of you might know about it. Okay, so it doesn't have to be straightforward. Okay, these are the attributes of ordered list and I should know. You don't have to worry about those things. Okay, so now our entire thing is ready. Okay, this is the structure, the basic HTML. Now what we want to do is add some styling. Okay, now yeah, so the question is what is the use of ID? Okay, what is the use? I've used this ID footer, ID web body and ID header, right? So this ID is a kind of selector. Okay, it gives an identity to this element. Okay, now what are selectors? I'll tell you. Now let's say I want to design. Okay, and design, I mean I want to give some styling, because this was simple static, only the images is looking something that is colorful, otherwise everything is black and white and blue, right? Now if I want to give some styling to these pages, I need to say that okay, you have to, for example, I have this informational programming courses. Okay, I want to change the color of this text. Okay, how will I say that you change the color of only this part, not the other? Do not touch other. Okay, for that what I need to do, I need to select this part, right? Right now the elements or the entities which allow you to select a particular part of your HTML document are called selectors. Okay, what are they used for styling? Okay, or targeting a particular element. Now styling, why am I stopping myself with styling here? Because we are not bothered with the dynamicity of the web page here. Okay, these selectors will also be used to manipulate the DOM. Okay, forget what I said, but what I said now, these selectors will be used to select particular part of the HTML so that you can give styling to that particular part. Okay, so what I need to do, for example, if I want to change the color of this or this too. Okay, now this ID is the ID of div. Okay, if I select this ID, if I select this element, entire element with ID, everything that is there in the element will be assigned that particular style, right? So this is the use. Okay, now if I move forward with the selectors, you will come to know why we are using div and other things, right? So this is div, right? There is one more thing called as class. Okay, and then elements are there. We can select all the entities of an HTML document within 3 types. How? You can directly select an element. I mean, you can directly target an element. You can target a group of elements with the help of class. That is the reason we are calling it class. And you can target individual element with the help of ID. Right now, if there is one body tag, right, in the entire HTML document, I have one body tag. Okay, so if I target this with body, let me try and add some or the other styling so that you understand. Okay, so this style. Okay, you forget about this originally given, just delete it. Okay, so let's say I have body. Okay, what I need to do is I need to give some dimensions to the body. What was initial dimension? Yeah, so this body is having, let us remove this HTML also. This body is having height 100%, width 100%. What does 100% means? Whatever screen area you are getting, take the 100% of that. That is the reason we are, see here the content is getting cropped. Why? Because it is taking 100% of what is available. Here it is not getting cropped because it is taking 100% of what is available. Okay. Now, so there is body, right? So if I give some styling to body, let's say background color. Now see, there are innumerable attributes that can be added. Do we need to know all? No, we should know some basic so that we can make minimal styling, right? So if I give background as light yellow, see it's coming, right? Light yellow. And if you see, if the color is correct, it will show a small sample of that color. Okay, it can be changed also, but currently I'm giving light yellow. So if I reload this, see the entire body became light yellow. Entire body. Okay, it became light yellow. Now the thing is, I use this body and the body colored.
Whole screen is called
yeah,
the
so
body.
whatever comes, whatever HTML part comes in the body will be taken by that particular styling. All right, so the entire body became yellow. Now if this is the case, I can do this with div also, right? If body is an element, div is also element. So I'll say, okay, write div. What will happen? All the content that is there in the div will become light yellow, right? So I'll reload this part now, right? So what is happening? See the content of div. You forget about the middle spaces. Why? Because now we are not choosing the body. We are choosing only div. Now we can easily see what are the containers. Okay, this is container 1, this is container 2, and the third one is container 3, right? Now the problem is I chose div. Okay, what I wanted this light yellow color to come only to this first div, not the other divs, right? Only first div, not the other divs. But since all three are div, I cannot segregate, I cannot specially tell, okay, no, you use only first div. Now what to do? This is where the things like ID and class come into the picture, right? Now what I can do is, instead of targeting a particular any div, I can target that particular div, right? I can target that particular div. Now let me see what is that particular div. How can I target? I can put ID to that div, right? So this ID will help me to target this particular div, right? That is the how we use make the use of ID. Okay, so we'll go back to CSS. Now the thing is, if I want to select a particular div with the help of ID, what was the ID? Header, right? Header was the ID, but it was ID, right? It was not any element, it was not any other thing, it was ID. So whenever I want to put styling to a particular ID, I need to also put hash. Okay, hash represent that header is the ID of some element. Okay, you don't have to mention what element. So you don't have to worry about what element it is. Header is the ID of some element. What will that do? It will select that particular element. Doesn't matter how many similar elements are there. It will, but the ID, you know that you have your unique ID, right? Application development roll number, unique. So it will be unique to that particular element. Okay, so if let us try with that. Okay, it's not happening. What happened? Just give me a minute. Let me see the. Okay, so why is was not happening? Capital H, right? So we need to write as it is. Okay, so let us go to style H, right? So I hope HEAD. Yeah, okay, let's go. Right now it is good. Right. So what happened? Even though this is also a div, this is also a div. I've targeted a particular div. This is what I've done. I've selected a particular div. That is the reason I would call ID as a selector. Right? Any doubt? The one who asked about this?
And hash will identify
hash means it says that this particular name, right? Header is an ID of an element.
Okay, in the style you will use it.
Yeah, in the document wherever we are using.
Wherever header is ID is there, the background color and
wherever the ID, wherever we are using ID, you have to represent with hash. For example, I'll show you. I'll clear this confusion. Yeah. For example, this is one ID, right? Let me go to HTML. Okay, so this is the ID. Okay, header. Right now, if I want to, let's say, I want to select this li, this second li. Okay, list item. There are 3, right? I want to select only one. What I'll do? I'll give it an ID. What ID should I give? Second
header.
No. Header was.
Suppose I put header here. Suppose I put header here. Then what will happen?
It will not take the design. Why? As I said, okay. ID is identically. It will uniquely define a particular element. Right. So since you have already defined ID for div as header, you cannot name. You cannot select any other element with the same ID as header.
This is the point, sir. What you told when I asked it, but I don't know it. A number of things are there where we are not used to know the syntax, whether we should use it or whether we should not use it.
So see, these things will definitely get clear in the lectures, questions, and live sessions only, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So no. So I'm okay. Is there anything you want to speak? What are you referring to?
I am referring. Suppose a list is there. Suppose a div is there. What are the properties and arguments and something parameters to be used available with the div?
No, it's not that. Div is an element. Okay, so there is no particular attribute that is only related to div. There are attributes, so many attributes related to elements. You can put any attribute with any element. Okay, you cannot say this. Okay, this ID is only for div. Okay. For example, the same to clear the same, I'm giving this example, right? So this is let's say a second list. Okay, what is the ID? What I'm saying, okay, this progressive web design list item is having an ID second list. What does this mean? Nothing else in this entire document can have this ID because it is a unique thing. Okay, now I want to target it. Okay, now I'll show you both the things. Let us go to style. What I'll do, I'll target. Let us say we'll use li. Okay, all the list items. So what will this do? It will take all the list items that are there in the HTML, that document particularly, and what it will give all the design that I want. So let's say I keep a background color. Background color red and color white. Okay, what will happen? Let's see what happens here. Yeah, so what happened? All the list items got individually red color. It looks like it is a single body, but it is individually colored. Okay, now I'll show you why it is why they are individually colored. What I'll do now, I also have given ID to this second element, right? I have given ID to
Yeah.
that second element. So what was the ID? Second element. Sorry, second, what was it? Second underscore list.
Second list.
Yeah, so second underscore list. Okay, second underscore list. What I'll do, I'll just put again background color. Okay, background color, that's a blue. Okay, background color blue. There is a problem here. Let's see. Let's see if it happens. Didn't happen, right? Why it didn't happen? Because second list is the ID you have given, and you're not specifying that I am giving an ID. So you have to say that hash. Now it will understand, okay, second list is some ID in your HTML document. Now if I try to load this, it will give the color. Understood? So to represent that,
Has is the precedence on that.
yes, hash represent that whatever text follows is an ID. Okay. Now something to show, some different to show. I mean, what can I use instead of hash? Okay, what can I use instead of hash? There should be, if I am explicitly defining that hash says there is an ID, there has to be some other things also. So let me see. Let me show you that also. Okay, so if we go back to index.html. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll target. So see, there are two p tags, right? This is one p and this is one p. Okay, now I want to target not single atom. See, because see, the thing is, let's say there are 100 atoms. Okay, there are 100 elements in your HTML file. Okay, you did not want to target all. What you will use? If you want to target only
ID,
one from the 100, what you will use?
ID we
What?
will use.
Okay, what you will use when you want to target 50 out of those 100?
Pardon?
50 individual. What do you want to use? I mean, if you want to target 50 div of 100 divs, what will you use?
ID
Maybe
only.
some indicator.
Yeah. So the thing is it possible to use 50 individual IDs?
No.
Right. So there has to be something. There has to be something which will take multiple which will select multiple elements, but not all. Right. For that we have class.
Some
For
star
that,
or some dot.
yeah, for that we have class. Okay, you don't remember that star or dot. You remember with ID, class, and element. Okay, if you want to particularly target a set of elements, you use element selector. If there are multiple elements and you want to target any one of it, one particularly, use ID. If you want to target a group of those, use class. Okay.
Fine.
So what I'll do, if there are two paragraphs, let's say I'll just create one more dummy paragraph just to show you the difference. Okay, so this is a dummy paragraph. Okay, this is a dummy paragraph. So if I load this will also come as a part of paragraph, right? A new paragraph has come. This is a dummy paragraph. Now what I want to do is I want to target only first and third paragraph. This is paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3. Okay. So what I'll do, if I want to target only these two paragraphs, 1 and 3 out of these 3, right? So what I'll do, I'll give them a class. So it's like multiple students are having one class. Okay, individual ID is for individual student, but there can be multiple students belong to same class, right? So similarly, we can give class. Same here. Okay, where am I giving? I have to give it within the tag, right? Class. Okay, para. Okay, anything. This is your. You can write your own name. Okay, and select it. Class para.
This para is the given name. Whatever we can do.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this is my name. What I'll do is I want this to be used. I want to select this, and I want to select this third paragraph, right? Okay, what I've done, I've given them class. Okay, while creating them, I've given them individual class. Now, if I go to style,
Okay, put the class and it will change all the class. Okay.
all
fine.
the elements that belong to that particular class. What was the class? Others, right? Okay, what I want, again, I'll give some background color. I'm giving background color because it is pretty much evident, right? This is not because I know only those. It is pretty much evident what are being selected and what
What
is
is
not
this
being.
others? What is this
It's
others?
my name. It's name of the class.
Okay, name of the class. We can
Okay.
define.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? You can give any name.
Okay.
Right. So I've given this name as class, this class as others.
And we can define the property inside the style.
Yes, and then you have to just target it and define it, right? So let's say green. Okay. Now given background color green. Let's see if it happens. Didn't happen, right? Why? Because this is custom created selector, right? I mean, this is a class that you created. You need to tell the application or you need to tell that you are using class. Okay. For ID, we used hash. There has to be something that has to be used with class, right? So what we'll do, we'll use dot.
Okay, this dot.
Okay. So if we use dot, let's see it happens or not. Happened, right? So it defines that if you are using, what does it say to the CSS? What does?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have system commands lecture going on. Can I shift to that?
Yeah, sure. No issues. You can
Okay, sir.
anytime watch this lecture later.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So what happened? I told the CSS or the compiler, whoever is understanding this, what to do, right? The browser is doing this, right? So what the browser will understand? Okay, there is a class named others. You have to select all the elements whose class is others and give them this background color. Okay.
Correct.
This
Fine.
hash says there is a ID name second list. Now, since it is an ID, there will be only one element with that particular ID. Select that element and give whatever styling is given. So that is happening here. Okay. So what you have seen here, we have seen the element selector, ID selector, and class selector.
Fine.
This is
Thank
how
you.
we define selectors in CSS.
One more selector was a star was something there. What a star will do?
Star. So what star does is it selects each and every element there is in the HTML file. Okay, each and every element. Okay, let's see. We'll try to do that. So I'll just put star and say background color purple. Okay, I've selected star, put background color purple. Let's see what happens. Everything came and became purple. Everything there is.
Okay.
Okay, so it selects all the elements.
And a star, can we put suffix with any other ID also? If a star can be put with another suffix ID?
See, if the star is selecting everyone, why do you have to put anything else after that? It is selecting everyone. Everything there is.
Okay.
If it is ID, class, whatever it is there. But the problem is now we also have to look at the precedence. Okay. Now, let's say if I remove all of these. Okay, I remove all of this and I don't know what was the content of, see, if let me create one file. Okay, let's say this is index4.html. This is index4.html, right? Now this index.4.html has, let's say, has 4 h1 tags. Not 4, let's go on with 2. So header 1, header 2. Okay, so these are the two elements in my HTML4, right? Now the problem is how do we render this? So we'll bring a new anchor here. Okay. So what I've done, let's see. Okay, so okay, here let's go to my tab one page. Yeah. So you see there is an extra button here, right? Link. What is that doing? If I click on that, I get two things: header one and header two. Okay. What I'm trying to show here, just be patient for a minute. Let's say somebody else created this application. Okay, somebody else created this application and told you just create a style sheet for this page. Okay, let's create a style sheet for this page. For that, you should know what are the tags that are there in the HTML file. Okay, you said, okay, give me the tags that are there, the elements that are there in the file, and I will style the page, select particular elements and style the page, right? And then he said, okay, don't do that. Just color, give a background. Sorry, change the color. This whatever header one and is written, header two is written, and the person says change the color of header one and header two. Okay, but then he said, okay, that is okay, but let me just show me what is the content. Is it H1 really, or is it just H2, or is it some else, and you have increased the font? No, he says, no, I will not say that. I will not say what are the elements in the HTML file. I just want you to change the color. Okay. In that case, can you target a particular element? Right. My question is, can you target a particular element in that case? I have created this index 4 and said that, okay, this is H1 and H1. But the question statement says that you don't know what if it is really H1 or not. And you cannot go by the appearance, because I can simply increase the font and says, okay, this can be anything, right? So how will you target the elements? You don't know what is the target. And to be and if somebody comes up with the idea, okay, select body and color it, right? But the thing is, this HTML does not have body. There is no body tag, right? So even if I select body and give it a color, it will not come up, right? And there is no way of knowing what are the tags used, right? What should be done? Did you understand the question?
Did not understand the question, sir. What is exactly sir asking?
Okay. See, let's say, let me just okay, just give me a minute. So I came to you and said, okay, this is header one and header two. This is my HTML file. Okay, this is being rendered by the browser. I want you to change the color of this header one and header two. Okay, for that you will ask me, okay, I'll change the color of header one and header two, but what is this element? What is this element? I said, no, I will not give you any information about the HTML. I'm saying that you just have to create an external CSS, and I should be able to link it and get the work done. But then to target this header one and header two, you should know what element they belong to, right? Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that no, I will not give you any information about what is the element, what element they belong. Okay. With that, somebody comes up and says, okay, since they are HTML, they are the part of HTML, they must be in the body tag, right? So you can select body tag and color them. Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
let's
body
try
will
and
change.
yeah. So let's try and see if we can do that with body. Since the same style is being used, what I'll do is body. Okay. Body, and then what I want is I want to change. No, I just want to change the color. So let's change the color to blue. Okay, now if we do this, see, yeah, so it's changed, right? Right, it changed.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
thing is, this body and this body is giving you the idea of, okay, you are selecting the entire document, okay, and then you can color the whatever is the content. Okay, now if I say no, you cannot use the body tag, okay, because I am not giving you information whether that HTML file is containing body or not. Okay, but you want to color the elements, the heading, that heading 1 and heading 2, you have to color them into blue. Okay,
Okay.
if I do
got it.
not have the idea of the tags that are there, I can say, okay, select all and color them blue. Okay, so if I do that, let's see what happens. Right, it gave the color one blue and
Got it. Got it.
header 1 and header 2. So that star,
Blindly selecting all the text.
yeah, so that star is selecting all the tags. You don't have to worry about what is the content. Getting? So that is where we use star tag. Okay, then there are, I've shown you instance where you can use class, shown you instance where you can use ID, and then individually element, right? But everyone, I mean, this selecting elements had some limitations. That is why we came up with ID. Selecting only ID had some limitations, so we came with class, right? I've given you the limitation. What was the limitation, right? So if you want to selectively select list from list, you cannot go with the element, right? If you want to select multiple items from a larger set of items, you cannot go with ID, because you cannot keep on giving individual ID to everyone, right? Then comes the class, where you can select the group of elements which you want to style and then give them the class, so that every time whatever change you do, all those elements will incur all those changes, right? And then there is star. But then there is one thing that we saw. If I want to represent an ID selector, I have to start it with hash. If I want to select something with the class selector, I have to put dot.
With a dot. Correct.
Right? And the
Got it.
star is a universal selector which will select all the elements irrespective of whatever it is. Correct.
Clear.
Okay, so see, so I guess this should be sufficient enough to give. So now you can build on whatever I've said, and then you can style this website according to your will, right? So what I'll do is I'll simply go to style and then mark this also done. Okay, now you have the raw HTML, complete raw HTML. Okay, you can take this and style it according to your will. Okay, I'll also remove this HR because this is something that we would not want from HTML itself. Now there are some other things, like there are things like box model. Means when we come with when we go into CSS, it's not only selecting and then giving some style, right? We can selectively position the elements, right? Change the size, okay, give some curves, give some edges, put some background, put some border, right? Use some shorthand properties, and then come up with styling. So there are so many things in this CSS, right? Which I think probably is not, which is not, I'll not be able to show all those things in this session. But what we can do is we can build up on this session also. I mean, we can build up on this session in the next session and then style this page. Okay. Will that be okay?
Yes, sir.
And so I guess whatever I said should be enough for a day, because then I don't want you to, get confused and all.
Yeah, it is fine, sir.
Okay.
When
So
we
we
will
are
do
done.
it ourselves, then it will be fine.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So, okay, just give me a minute. Yeah. So I just reloaded the page. So what we have now? We have the raw.
This page will be available, no, sir? Whatever you have shared in the link, it will be available to us.
No. So whatever I've shared before, so whatever I've done has been written after I shared the link, right? So it will not be available then. I want you to share the entire. I want to share the entire REPL, a finished, completed REPL. So I won't be sharing it in this session. In the next session, when we'll do with the CSS part also, when the entire website is ready, like the one that I've shown before. right, as a reference. Once we come to that position, I mean to that level of styling and HTML, then I'll share the REPL. Okay, then you can fork it and have the entire project.
Sir, can you share the whole link?
That's what. So what I'm saying is, what I'll be doing is the next session, right, on Wednesday. I'll be continuing with this session. I mean, continuing with the styling part of this, right? I hope you saw the reference website that I showed you before starting the session. I mean, at the starting of the session, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So I want, I want you to take to that styling. Okay. I want to continue this session, and when I want to style to that level, right? So it would be better if if we go to that stage and then I give you the reference rather than giving it in midway. Okay. You anyway have the question statement, so you can start off with your own. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
fine?
That's
Sir,
fine.
you said the reference of the website. Have you given that?
Which
Actually,
website you shared, sir?
I didn't share anything. Just give me a minute.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't share anything. It was another REPL. Just let me open and show you. This one. Yeah. So this is the wiki data science wiki page, which is very similar to what we have done. You see this, right? Heading, subheading, paragraph, image, list,
Yeah.
and then references. I mean the links. So this is very much similar to what we have done, but if you can observe, the styling to this page is better than what we have created now, right? Okay, so what I want is, this is for the reference, just to show you how the question statement that I gave, how you should work on and build something like this for your reference. I have not shared anything on this. Okay, because I wanted to create the same, following the question statement that I've given for this session, I wanted to create the same thing, right? Now, what happened? We have created the raw HTML. What we need to do is add some styling. Okay, and it would be better if I shared the REPL link after we have added the styling. Okay, and to continue with the styling part is what I'm saying we'll do it in the next session. Okay, so here you can see that some font has been applied. This is not the font that we have been seeing, right? This is simple, this is Times New Roman. Okay, and this is some different. Okay, some different form. The image has been resized. If you go to other page, you'll see that the image size are same. Okay, so image sizes are same, but in our case the image size are not same, right?
Yeah.
So this is all the three images are different of different shape and size, right? So what we need to do is we have to all add all these things in our style.css so that they take up same shape every time you load. Okay, bring this content at the center. For example, if we go to this page and then if I load it in the site, see this comes in the center proper, just like a proper website, right? But this is simple a raw HTML. So I want this to become this in the next session, and then I'll share the REPL.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Right? Yeah. So that is what I was saying. Okay. So you can. So once I share the REPL, you can have one mini project created by your own. That is the idea. Right. So if I share you this, it won't make sense because you'll have everything solved and all. So let me go back to that REPL. What was it? Peak to SW1. So this is our original file. Okay, we'll continue with this file in the next session, add some styling, and then I'll share that. Okay, so with that, I'll officially close this session because some of you might have other sessions to join into. Okay, so I don't want you to divert, some people diverting some state. So we'll stop it here and then we'll continue in the next session on Wednesday. Okay, so
Okay, sir. Fine.
okay, fine. Now,
Okay,
so
thank you, sir.
all right. So when you go through this video once again on YouTube and all, you might find some issues. Why this? Why that? You can come up with your doubts, and we'll try to clear it in the next session. Okay. So yeah, till now, thank you very much. You can join back on Wednesday, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
And sorry for the delay in between. We'll definitely not have it on the next session.